Well, good morning, everybody. God bless you and welcome. I give time to build the audience. Hope everybody's doing well today. Oh, it's a wonderful morning. It is great weather. It's cold if you like cold. So let's get everything ready today. How you doing, guys? Welcome to the Abundant Life Nation Sunday morning love stream broadcast with yours truly, Apostle Kerry Pope. And I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a great day. So let's just give a moment to build this audience. Give time for everyone to come on today. I'm excited about this message. And we need to understanding the power. Okay, understanding the power. Oh my, this is so important. It's understanding the power and the importance of your imagination. And we're going to talk about that today. So as we build the audience, we want to make sure that everyone comes in today. Let me get my thing set up here so I can see the comments. And so good morning. God bless you as you're coming on. Hope you're doing well. And just say good morning to me. I don't have my other stand, so I'm going to have to hold my phone kind of like this to see who's coming on this morning. But good morning and welcome. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you're excited about being here today. I hope you're excited about what God is going to do. Let me adjust this camera just down a little bit more so I can get this like this. All right, there we go. There we go. Now we're in business. So good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have yourself a great weekend. I know the weather was crazy. I know the weather was changing tremendously for whatever reason, but it's daylight savings. So I'm pretty sure some of you, if you were like me and Rebecca, we woke up and had no clue that daylight savings had kicked in. And so with that being said, guess what? We're here. And so good morning to you. And give time for everybody to come on in. So as you come in, say good morning to me. Let me know that you're on live with me. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. And I can come down a little bit more. Yes. So good morning. Hope you're doing well. I'm excited about this broadcast. I'm excited because many of us don't understand the power that we have inside of us. We don't understand the power of our anointing, the power of our creativity. And one of the reasons why we don't understand it is because we've never been taught it. And so, one of the things that God had charged me with as someone who works with people is helping them to really see the importance of what they have lying dormant inside of them. And that is considered to be the power of their creativity. And that creativity starts with the ability to understand the importance and the power of your imagination. One of the things I've said for many years is that we have created our own demise. We create our own default, our own reality by default. We do it without really realizing that we're doing it. And so um, let's just give time for everyone to get in here. And I'm excited for all of you that are going to be with us today. I'm excited that you decided to join me. You may be watching it live, you may watch it in replay, you may watch it when you wake up because, again, daylight savings kind of creeped in on us, and I didn't expect to see daylight savings this soon. So good morning to you. And want to make sure that you understand a couple things we have coming up. We do still have the Stoic Masterclass that's coming up later this month. Still finishing that up. Going to be releasing, hopefully in the next week or two, my Self-Esteem, Authentically Me. The book and the course is being finished as we speak. We still have the Work Masterclass that Rebecca and I taught a few years ago that we have on sale now. So make sure you go to the link in the description to get it. We have Dating and Soul Attraction Masterclass that we definitely want you to get if those of you looking to get it and fall in love again. And just so many other courses that we have on the the ALPCC course, our website. And so Abundant Life Path it's a powerful organization that Rebecca and I just been blessed to create and to operate in. Hey, good morning, Brianna. Good morning, Eugene. God bless you guys. And so I want to make sure that you find your way over to the Abundant Life, all of our classes, all of our courses. They will bless you tremendously. I promise you that. All right. All right. So as I get this thing set up like I want it, give me a second to get it organized because I want to make sure we are ready to go. And so I want you to get your pen and pad ready because we want to understand the power and the importance of your imagination. Roshita, good morning to you guys. All of you, God bless you. And so uh, the reason why this subject is so important, I'm know many of you may have heard, and I'm going to announce it again, this upcoming Saturday, March the 19th at 9 p.m. on Oprah Winfrey's own network. Rebecca's show, Marry Me Now, will be making its debut, and we are so excited and great applause to her and her great success. And the reason why this message is important, I was able to put together a video, actually find a video that we did. Oof, God, how many years ago was it? I forget how many years ago was it because it was years ago, maybe 2017, 2016. We did a video on um, our vision boards. And one of the things on her vision board was Oprah Winfrey and the OWN Network. And she stated that we'll have a show on the OWN Network and we'll be able to talk about love, relationships, and things that we do. And so this is the stepping stone to the opening that God is doing. And so when God opened that door and Rebecca walked in, sure enough, manifestation is taking place. But how did it start? Did she get lucky and it was just the stars aligned correctly? No. It happened through creation. It happened because she was able to do what we teach with imagination that becomes visualization. But you got to start with imagination. One of the things that we have all been given since childhood. That's right, manifestation. And see, one of the things that I'm going to be working on is teaching you guys the 5 steps to success, where manifestation is the last step of the 5 steps. But the very first step is imagination. Now, as children, we were born with the ability and the gift of imagination. And imagination was placed with education, and it took away the ability to dream, and everything was then assigned to knowledge of books and assigned to what you learn in school. But we were all given, from the very beginning of our creativity, the same thing that created electricity, that created the telephone, that created all the things, even iPhones and Androids and the internet and YouTube and all the places where we can now access. It all created from imagination. Now, why is this important? Because how many of you can be honest and say, Carrie, I have lost my ability to imagine and to dream. It turned into hope and luck. And that's not how God operates. God does not operate in hope and luck. It's about imagination. If you think about it, and I've taught it before and I'll give it to you again, in the very first beginning of the Bible, in the very beginning of creation, is given the blueprint to how everything in this world is created, including your reality. And it talks about in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was dark and void and without form. That means there was nothing in place, meaning the canvas of our minds are dark. Now, I don't want you to think of the beginning of Genesis as, I don't want you to think of it as, literal. I want you to think of it as, a principle. Let's go that way because I love to teach about principles. So see the beginning as a black canvas board in the mind. So in other words, you're sitting there with a blank mind. The earth, meaning what you get ready to create. The heavens and the earth was dark and void and without form. And it says that then the Spirit of God hovered over the waters, meaning it hovered over the imagination or the mind. And he began to imagine what he wanted to see before he spoke. See, one of the reasons why we're not receiving, because we say, well, you have not because you ask not. It's not that we're not asking, it's that we're not imagining. See, we imagine, when I say we're not imagining, I mean we're not imagining the very success of what we want. We imagine all the roadblocks and the hardships and the failures that could happen with what we want. But see, when God created, he imagined, saw it, spoke it, manifested it, and then looked back upon it and said, it is good. See, that's key. Because when you understand the importance of the power of your imagination, you got to stop and ask the question, what I have going on in my life right now, is it because of the enemy or is it because of the enemy? What's inside of me? What's in me? I created this. Somebody need to hear me this morning. We have inside of us the same ability to create. So what are you speaking this morning? I love what Albert Einstein said. He says, I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Wow. I'll give it to you again. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. That means there is no limitations in your imagination. Now, what you have to find yourself doing, how many of you, let me ask this before I go deeper, how many of you have lost your ability to dream? Meaning, when you go to sleep at night, you're dreaming. Eugene says, innovators and inventors imagine, leaders imagine. That's right. And that's why we imagine. That's why you see us being prosperous. That's why you see us seeing things come to manifestation. It's not because we're just lucky or we've done so many great exploits that God is just blessing us. No, it's because we have tapped into the power. We've tapped into it, so the power and the importance of our imagination. We began to understand why it's important to get up in the morning and journal. Write out what you're feeling, because you're writing out now what you have been imagining inside. So now what's inward is coming out on paper, and you're writing, you're journaling, you're getting it out. When's the last time you wrote out the very dream or the imagination that you've had? How many of you have even stopped to say, this is what I want? Or you're saying it's too high for me, so I can never get it. See, you got to know how to look at whatever's been created and then judge it. We're not judging the very creation that's coming out of our spirit. We're just saying, I guess this is what God wants me to have. Not understanding that that's not it. You're creating your own reality. I don't know if that job is, I don't think I'm going to get that job. You're not going to get it. I don't think he loves me. He doesn't love you. I don't think I'll ever be married. You'll never be married. So you are creating and putting into action the words that come from your mouth. And when you understand the power and importance of your imagination, then you'll be slow to speak. And you'll know that when I speak, then I've thought about it, I'm ready to see it, because once it comes out of my mouth, it goes into the air and it starts to pull in what's needed to create that very thing that I've spoken. Is anybody hearing me this morning? See, it's not the luck of the draw. It's not that just bad coincidence or bad mojo. No, it's your mouth. It's what you're speaking out of your spirit. As a man thinketh, so is he. And if you're sitting back, always thinking negativity, always thinking something's going to happen to you, being superstitious, then guess what? Things that you think about manifest in greaterness and greater. And the greatness of what you're thinking comes even out even more. That's why you got to stop today and say, wait a minute. The Bible said that we perish because of the lack of knowledge. And because I've lacked the power of my imagination and the importance of it, I have to stop and listen. I got to judge what I just said, and I got to make sure that what comes out of my mouth is good and is acceptable and is something that is going to bring life. That's why the Bible said out of the life and death flows out of the power of the tongue. The power, there's the word power again. You have power in you. See, some people don't understand the power. So for that reason, they're getting electrocuted because they have no knowledge of power. You're saying, well, the devil I must have done something wrong. I got to go see somebody. Get this curse off of me. The curse is called ignorance and the lack of knowledge. We speak and perish because of the lack of knowledge. Now listen to this very carefully. How often and to what extent do you use and access your imagination? How often are you dreaming? How often are you imagining? How often are you seeing yourself in the greatness? Or are you just seeing yourself in status quo? Are you seeing yourself as it is what it is and it be what it is and I'm just okay with it? I'm not okay. Listen, God has blessed Rebecca and I tremendously, but I'm not okay with that. There's still higher heights and deeper depths that we have to go. There's greatness that we've seen beyond where we are. But how many of you can be honest to Carrie? Now that you're mentioning it, I don't really process or use my imagination like I should. I imagine bad things, but when's the last time I've imagined good things? When's the last time you have imagined and saw yourself at the height of your life, at the height of your career, being happy, being successful, being joyful? When's the last time you see yourself with plenty? Instead, we say, I hope. Good morning, Jamila. I hope it works out. No, God didn't operate, God didn't say, I hope light appears. Because there's a 50-50 chance that it will. God said, let there be. See, when you speak out of your mouth and out of the power of who you are and what's inside of you and your imagination, you're now speaking into the atmosphere and it becomes conducive to what you have requested. It's nothing magical about it. It's nothing that you have to go out and research. And as far as, I got to be so deep and spiritual. No, baby. You just got to understand the power of your words and the power of your imagination. That's why you got to make sure what they say, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. An idle mind means you're not thinking, so the devil can get in and start creating these thoughts, which cause you then to think wrongly or negatively, and now you start creating the very thing. That's why you got to govern your thoughts. Or as I like to say, think about what you're thinking about. Now, how many of you can be honest and say, Carrie, I never looked at it like that. I never really stopped to think that, my thoughts becomes my words and my words become my reactions. My reactions become my reality. And I had to be careful in how I think. Now, how many of you can be honest and Carrie, I haven't been judging or I haven't been, judging my thoughts. I haven't been really paying attention to what I think. I've been speaking out of ignorance. I've been speaking out of turn. I haven't really stopped and thought about, okay, when I get ready to say this, it's going to set a chain reaction. It's called the butterfly effect. If I say this, it's going to set in motion other things. Anybody hear me this morning? Is this resonating in your spirit? And so imagination is a creative power necessary for inventing an instrument, designing a dress or a house, painting a picture or writing a book, any other thing of creativity that comes from you. That's why the song says, I believe I can fly. If I can see it, then I can be it. All right, it says, whatever you think about, you bring about. That's right. But what are you thinking about? I want you to stop right now and really do an inventory of your thoughts. That's why you have to govern your thoughts. That's why you have to make sure that you think about what you're thinking about. That's why you have to make sure you're not letting your mind be idle or go on a little wonder on things that are really not going to bring you any return or any. You don't want your investment to bring you no return, meaning it doesn't bring you any good. You want to make sure that what you're imagining that it's going to be wonderful and beautiful. That's why it told us in Philippians, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of a good report. If there be any life in it, if there be any joy in it, if there be any validity in it, think on these things. What we see even in that scripture is telling us that if you stop and think on these things, all right, think before you think, what are you thinking about? That's it. You got to think before you think. You know what? Think about what you're thinking about. So if I'm sitting here and all of a sudden I'm having these thoughts, because we don't really stop to think about what we're thinking about. Is what I'm thinking about lovely? I'm thinking about being evicted. That's not lovely. Is whatsoever things true? I'm ugly. That's not true. Whatsoever things are pure? Is this a pure thought or is this a thought tainted by people's opinions? Whatsoever things are lovely and of a good report? Is nothing good about that report? If there be any validity in it, any life in it, think on those things. Because the more you think about it, the more your imagination builds it. And the more your imagination builds it, the more it becomes into manifestation through visualization. That's why you got to make sure you know what you're thinking about and make sure that you're not continually to churn it. When you go to sleep at night, that's why it's good to go to sleep at night with a clear conscience and make sure that you don't go to bed worrying or thinking about stuff, because when you go to bed thinking about it and worrying about it, you dream about it. And once you dream about it, you're creating it. You're bringing more of it to you. See, we don't stop to think like that. We just want to say it's just a luck of the draw or bad luck or the devil. Baby, it's the way you think. It's the way you're imagining. And so the creative power of imagination has an essential role in achieving success in any field. This principle applies to any and everything in life. I want to make six figures. Imagine it then. Write out a check and put 6,000 figures. Put a six figure on that check. Put a seven figure on that check. I got a check right now in my closet for $1 billion. I think it's got so many billions of dollars as my legacy. Somebody said, that's a lot. Yes, it is. But it's not a lot in my mind. Because as we saw as an artist, you're freely and unrestricted in your thinking. Now you become restricted when you start to say, "Oh, that's too much. Let me bring it down to what's reasonable. Maybe 100,000." Well, you can do that. You can, if you want to write that, you write that. Whatever it is you want, because at the end of the day, remember, guys, you're creating your reality. Now, if my reality is what I wrote, then I'm going to write it. And then when I get it, oh my God, they're just so blessed and lucky. No, we're not. We just know how to utilize the power of our imagination and the importance of it. That's why you got to make sure you're around like-minded people. All right? You can't be around people whose mindset, God bless you, my brother Parker's on. God bless you, man. You can't be around people who are always, oh, woe is me, and I'll never be nothing. And, oh, you just so lucky. No, I need to be around people that is powerful. That's why you should create healthy boundaries. And those healthy boundaries is nothing, so only good shall come to me. Only good shall go from me. I claim this by my divine right. I have a divine right to think and imagine in ways that God has given me. See, let me say something to you. When you allow man to speak into your spirit, it brings about a subject of bringing you into a captivity. You're subjective to the captivity of your mind, which means you got to think a certain way and it keeps you in this box. God is trying to free you to understand that you have not because you ask not or you imagine not. All right? When you understand that the creative power of the imagination has an essential role, it is so important. It is essential, just like your heart. Listen, if your heart stops beating, you will die. If your imagination stops imagining, you will die in the spirit realm. Somebody don't hear me. So you're sitting there seeing like the years go by and nothing's happening. It's because you have died to your imaginations. When is the last time you had a vivid imagination of something and saw it manifest itself? I'll wait. Because I want you to understand that what we imagine with faith and feelings comes into being. What you imagine with faith and feeling, what is faith? I believe in what I saw. I saw it in my spirit. I saw it. I keep seeing it. I keep believing it. I keep because listen, manifestation takes time. But imagination is the beginning of creativity. When God said, let there be, it didn't just go bleep. It started coming together. It's called the Big Bang Theory, is that what they want to call it. I call it God's imagination coming to realization. You got to make sure that when you are sitting idle-minded, I want you sometime to start writing down the very things that you're thinking, and I want you to look at it. Don't try to fix it up. Catch yourself in a thought and write it down, and see if it's a good thought, see if it's a positive thought, or see if it's a negative thought, because whatever you write is what's inside of you. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but a love, power, and a sound mind. And many of us are not imagining with a sound mind. We're imagining with a fearful mind, a mind of scarcity. We have a mind of scarcity, a mind of fear, a mind of poverty. And guess what? So now you got to work 3, 4, 5 jobs just to make it ends meet. When if you sit down with a rich mindset, a positive mindset, and imagine yourself being an entrepreneur with your own business and people working for you, and then God brings it to pass. Let me explain what the problem is. You're trying to figure out how God is going to do it. Now see, when God said, let there be, it wasn't trying to figure out how it was going to be, because it's not your responsibility nor your business. Oh, somebody don't hear me this morning. It's not your business to wonder how God is going to make it happen. When we sat in that living in our studio room back in 2017 and wrote the vision boards and spoke about the video, we didn't know how Rebecca or myself would be on OWN Network or TV One or the other things that God still have in store for us. We didn't see Marry Me Now then. No. See, you got to understand, it's not your responsibility to understand how it will be transported to you. It's your responsibility to just imagine. Do anybody hear what I'm saying today? To imagine is free and it's unlimited. The moment you start trying to figure out how it's going to happen is the moment you put shackles on God and you block, because now there's limitations. Somebody don't hear me today. If you are going to imagine something, your only job is to imagine it, to visualize it, and then wait as you meditate upon it, as you give affirmations upon it. Because after you have that, manifestation is going to come. But how it comes is not your business. It's not your problem. And you can't even put it, somebody better hear me this morning. I've been hearing you say, well, I just don't know how it's going to happen. You don't supposed to know how it's going to happen. What we imagine with faith and feelings come into being. Watch this. It is the vital ingredient of creativity, visualization, positive thinking, and affirmations. That's why affirmations are so important. That's why you have to affirm what you have visualized and imagined. Somebody better say amen. This is some good stuff right here, guys. And part of the 5, and I'm going to give you all 5 right now, but I'll say the very first part of creation is imagination. All right? Understanding how to use your imagination correctly and putting this knowledge into practice for your own and others benefit because of it. Now watch this. When you put on the golden path to success through, your imagination, satisfaction, being satisfied, and happiness will flow. But if you're sitting there trying to figure out, or you're misusing or don't have a true understanding of your imagination, then you're imagining bad things. You're imagining things that have, darkness to it. You imagine things that God doesn't want you to have. You're attracting. Let me say this to you guys. I was watching a movie. What movie was it I was watching? And in the movie, they were saying, be careful of your thoughts, because the moment you think about something, it attracts them to you, right? So they would say, be mindful of your thoughts and don't think about the individual, because the moment you think about the individual, they connect with you telepathically, and then they're in tune with you. Why is that important? Because you got to make sure that you're paying attention and that you're imagining correctly, because if you imagine incorrectly, the moment you think a negative thought, then guess what? All of a sudden, the attraction, you're like a magnet. What you start thinking automatically starts attracting to you. Oh, my goodness. Anybody getting this? You're like a big magnet with your imagination. And what you're imagining. That's why the Bible told us clearly. When the Spirit went up on the waters, I call it doing a reconnaissance. When the Spirit began to hover, it was imagining what it wanted to see on this dark canvas. And once it imagined and saw, first of all, I needed to be some light up in here because I can't work in the dark. See, this is the light that you're needing this morning. This is the light bulb coming on that I'm giving you. So the first thing you need before you can create anything is light or imagination, understanding. Anybody getting this morning? You need the understanding of God to come on in your life so you can create the waters and the mountains and the land and the sea and the ocean, the animals and creatures. The very first thing that God did was turn on the lights. And I need somebody to hear me this day. I'm trying to turn on your lights, and the lights turn on with imagination. Benjamin Franklin said, enough of this being in the dark. I need to turn on the lights. Yes. And I want y'all to remember this. You are a magnet. You are a magnet that attracts what you think. That's why whatever things are lovely, it attracts. Whatever things are pure, it attracts. Whatever things are bad, it attracts. Whatever things are devastating, it attracts. If you like being around negative people, you attract negative people. A guy told me the other day, I was walking out of the gym, and I'm very, suspicious of people, because when somebody walks up to you and asks you who you are and what do you do for a living, I'm a little cautious of why. And, he walked up to me and he's asking, this is the second guy in 2 weeks that did this, as a matter of fact. Sir, excuse me, do you mind me asking, what do you do for a living? I said, excuse me? He said to me just the other day, he says, no, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's I said, is it my car? Because I was in my sports car. And he goes, no, I would have spoke to you if you had just been walking. He said, I saw you walk by the first time, and a light from you attracted me. So when I was waiting on you to come out the store so I could walk up to you and speak to you. He began to say, there's a light about you. He said, I see greatness on you. Don't even know the guy. He began to say, it's just something about you that exudes greatness. Do you do mentorship? See, what are you saying, Carrie? When you are a light and you begin to turn on the light, it attracts like-mindedness. Whoo, man, oh man, oh man. Is anybody excited about this today that said, Carrie, I never looked at it like that. I've been wondering when God is going to do it. This is my season. This is my year. It's not if you don't imagine it. It's not if you don't see it. As I said, coming into 2022, this is the year of release. This is the year of letting go. This is the year of promise. I didn't say it because God spoke it so deep in my spirit. No, I said it because I saw it. And I began to say, if you can see it, this is the year of release. This is the year of promise. And that means whatever God has promised me, I need to see it. That's it. There are laws. Listen, I definitely want you guys to study the laws of attraction, the laws of success. These laws of that are out there are so doggone real and deep. But see, we don't do it because it doesn't have John 5:17 in front of it. You better understand that there are people that have understood the knowledge of God that didn't put it in the Bible. There are some people that have written books that will share with you how to really awaken the God that's lying dormant in you. You know what I found out? You have people that become jealous of you because you have understood the concept and the laws that God has in place. There are laws in this earth. There are laws that we are governed by. You don't believe me? Go outside right now, jump up on your roof and jump off. And you're going to find yourself in the law of gravity. There are laws that govern us. And the law of gravity is no different than the law of attraction. It's no different than the law of success. It's no different than the various laws that are in place. As a matter of fact, give me a second. And let me see if I can pull my book up real quick. And I want to share with you some of the laws that I would advise you to study. And one of the things that God has led me to do is, Carrie, I want you to go back to helping understand the laws. Somebody say the laws. Give me a second. I'm going to give you this real quickly. The law of attraction is one of them. What is the other one I have out here? I'm trying to look at the law of positive thinking. There's so many. And I had a book at one point that give you all of them. I think I may have gotten sent it back to the library because I'm one that's very much into books and reading. All right. I'm not just into, here we go. The universal laws. Here we go. Let me open this up real quick so I can give you an understanding of how many there are, because some say, I didn't realize there are universal laws. Yeah, there are universal laws. These laws don't care if you atheist. They don't care if you Pentecostal. They don't care if you a Muslim. They don't care what you are. They just know these laws apply, period. Okay? And so the universal laws, let me see if I can get to the table of contents real quick and tell you. And that's why it's so important that you understand the various laws and how to be governed by them. There's a law of cause and effect. That's why I said the butterfly effect. There's the law of cause and effect. There's the law of attraction, the law of emotions. Oh, let me keep going. This is some good stuff, guys. There's the law of abundance. Whoa, Carrie, there's a law of abundance. Why do you think Rebecca and I always say abundance, blessings and abundance? Because we're operating in the law of abundance, guys. We believe that in the law of abundance. That's what we call abundant life. There's also a law of vacuum. You didn't think it says, wouldn't it be amazing that if you knew every time you cleared out the cupboard of the desk that you were opening yourself up to receive new stuff? The law of vacuum. I want new jobs. I want new clothing. Create a vacuum. In other words, clean out your closet. I would love a new car. Begin to create vacuum. It's called the law of vacuum. Every time you create a vacuum in your life, the law or the universe has sending a new one to fill the void. I didn't know that, Carrie. The law of giving. That's why it says better to give than to receive, because there's a law with giving. Carrie, you're teaching me something today. The law of desire. Whatever you powerfully desire to happen in your life produces the power to draw that desire to you. That's why be very careful of what you think, right? Because you're drawing it. The law of service. Okay? The law of service is closely related to the law of cause and effect and the law of giving. It says the more you give of your time and love and help to understanding, the more you receive back of that kind. So the reason why you're not getting service, you're not serving. Whoa, there's a law of detachment. And many of us need to operate in the law of detachment. Why? The law of detachment relates to the law of abundance. Now, listen closely. In order to keep the flow of abundance working for you, you have to let go of your worry about the end result. That is considered the law of detachment, a word of caution. The more you fret about the final outcome, the more likely it is that the circumstances will not appear because you're worrying about the outcome versus detach from how the outcome happens and just let God allow it to happen. Oh, my. Oh, anybody need this today? There's the law of imagination. Now, let me work with this for a second. It said this law is one of the power keys to the whole universal system of the laws. Keep in mind that by using this law, you are super boosting the power of all the other laws. It says, just think, you are using your imagination every day, even if it's just deciding on what to have for dinner. In every instance, your imagination is used for the smallest and the biggest events of your life. And it is quite obvious that you take decisions based on imagining an outcome of a situation, and you give birth to your greatest hopes by first imagining them. The secret of making the law of imagination work is to control and to direct your imagination. It is your purpose and it is your responsibility to control and to direct your imagination. That's why you think about what you're thinking about. So you make sure that what you're thinking about is directed in the area of what you want to receive. Anybody getting this today? There are laws that we are governed by. And if you don't understand these laws, then guess what? The law doesn't change because you're ignorant to it. The law, yeah, you didn't hear me. The law doesn't change because you're ignorant to it. If I drive in a speed zone and I'm driving 45, but I didn't see the stop sign, or I'm not sorry, the speed zone that says you're in a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone, and I'm driving 45, because I didn't see it doesn't mean I'm still not governed by the law that's in place. Somebody help me this morning. If the law is the law because I was ignorant to it, maybe there is mercy given. Maybe. But because I'm ignorant to something. In other words, if I'm driving the car, it's my responsibility to know the laws that is governing me with the responsibility that comes with me driving. You're driving with your imagination, but it's your responsibility to know the laws in the land that you're driving in. And if you're driving a car, which is your imagination, and you are clueless to the laws that are in place governing, you're going to crash and burn because the laws doesn't give in because you didn't know. The law is somebody better hit me today. The law is the law. What happens if you go up on the building, like I said, and jump off? The law of gravity says you're going to go down. And the law of gravity doesn't go, well, we're going to let them float this time. No, the law of gravity does not change, nor is it biased, nor is it someone that goes, well, he's got more anointing or she has less anointing. No, the law of gravity stays in place, and it's your responsibility to know that what goes up must come down. Is anybody getting this morning? And so for that reason, just imagining experiencing a new way to control your life simply by holding thoughts in your head, repeatedly believing them with emotion, and causing circumstances to change in your favor. Is anybody getting excited because now you're starting to see some power that you really hadn't really tapped into, or maybe you forgot about it, but it's been sitting there being used for the wrong reason? Your mind is very powerful, and by thinking about what you want in your conscious mind, you train your subconscious mind to bring it into being. There's the conscious and the subconscious. And remember that your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between imagination or facts. So whatever you feed your subconscious, it feeds to the conscious as this is it. I'm just going to be lonely. The subconscious says, okay, we're going to be lonely. I'm going to be rich. The subconscious goes, yes, you will. And it feeds it to your spirit. Listen, guys. I can go on and on and on and on, but I want you to hear this. You have not because you ask not. You have what you have because you have been imagining it and more of it. Imagination doesn't rely in hope. Imagination relies in I imagine it, I visualize it, I began to give affirmations upon it. I began to meditate upon it, and then I began to manifest it. I got to make sure that I understand that how powerful my mind is, because many of us don't even have a clue how powerful our minds are. Envision yourself being able to change your reality by forcefully imagining exactly what you want to happen. You ever had this happen? Watch this, guys. And this is probably the best way I can explain it. Have you ever needed something? I remember this one time I needed a shirt. I needed a specific shirt. I imagined the shirt I needed. I saw the shirt that I needed. And I went to various stores for the shirt where I thought it would be. But then my spirit said, go to this particular store, go down this aisle. And just as sure as my name is Carrie, it starts with a K, it ends with a Y. I went down to the store, I went down this aisle, and it was almost like a light was shining directly on this white shirt, and the shirt sat there by itself, right size, just what I needed, and I picked it up and I walked away. Why? Because I imagined exactly what I needed, and I listened to my spirit that told me where it was. When's the last time you listened to your spirit after your imagination has told you exactly where to go and get it? Whoo! Edmund Burke tells us that there is a boundary to men's passions when they act from feelings, but none when they are under the influence of the imagination. Carl Jung said to this, which is powerful. He says, without this playing with fantasy, no creative work has yet ever come through. He says, no creative work has ever yet come to birth. The debt we owe to play our imagination is uncalculatable. In other words, when you understand how important the imagination is and to use it, it is in everything you do. I have seen people will themselves to death, and because they kept imagining it, their body says, we're dying, and they will themselves to die. I have seen people say, my wife is great with it. She when she began to say what she wants, she began to manifest it. She began to write it down. She began to do. We have what we have because we both have understood the power and the importance of our imagination. These books behind me are not just books to have on the shelf, but they're books of knowledge and power and understanding of various aspects of life. But the greatest thing to understand that these books were not written just because they were written. They started with an imagination and manifested in a book. That's why we have the Work Masterclass. That's why we have the Dating and Soul Attraction Masterclass. That's why we have the Soul Work Masterclass. That's why we have the Authentically Me. That's why we have Nice for What coming up. That's why we have so many things that we even have that you have yet to hear us speak about, because they're in here. And we're thinking about them. There's the law of inner and outer balance. Watch this. The law of inner and outer balance works on the premise that your outer world is the mirror image of your inner life. So in other words, what if you have on the outside, there's an outer and inner balance. So what's on the outside is balanced with what's on the inside. And whoa, wait, Carrie, you telling me that what I have on my outside came from what's inside of me? Yes. The in of you, or the enemy, is the in me. Often you can judge a person's inner thoughts and mental state by the conditions of their immediate surroundings. That's why the guy said it's something about you, because my outer surroundings showed what was going on in my inner. Rachel said facts. How many of you right now, if you be honest and say what I have outside of my life is what's actually inside of me? Often you can judge a person by their surroundings. You will notice that if they are all mixed up internally, their chances are that their living conditions are messed up too. And most always, their health is not good as it could be. The thrilling part of this law is that the mind automatically tries to balance the inner perception with the external reality. So by using the law of imagination, you can change your inner world, causing changes in your external world to match. I got to get out of here, guys. My time is almost up. I got 10 minutes, but I want you guys to hear me today. Imagine what you would be like if your relationship with people around you could improve. Not by changing them, but by changing your approach to them. I want you to change your approach to your reality today. I want you to start imagining the very thing that you want to see and control the imagination. Put it in areas. That's the reason why that's the reason why God did a reconnaissance is because he saw what was missing and imagined what he wanted in that place. Watch this here. What I love about the new apps that they have. Let's say I want to put this certain piece of furniture in my home, right? Have you seen this part of the app on Amazon where you can actually hold the camera in the area where you want it to go and it superimpose it into that area so you can kind of see it, but it's not really there? That's the same thing as your imagination. That app is saying this is what it will look like in that area, the size and everything. So since you imagine it first through the app, so you're seeing it and you're going, it's too big. It doesn't look as good. They created an app to show you what it will look like in the space. If you want to have balance in your life, start looking at the spaces in your life that need filling, the voids that need filling, or I said the law of vacuum, and start putting things in those places through your imagination. And then judging as God judges, say, that's good. Or go, that's not beautiful. I got to go, guys. Is anybody enjoying this word today? And it's really making you say, I never knew that. One of the courses that I have coming up in the next few weeks is the self-esteem. It talk about, low self-esteem, inflated self-esteem, and high self-esteem. Did you know there's a law of self-assurance? Let me give this to you as I close. Most people know that self-confidence is a powerful force that attracts people to you, and which in turn opens up doors of opportunities for you. You can feel the dynamic radiating from a self-assured person. People are attracted to and feel confident when they can sense poise and assurance in others. When you develop a rock-solid belief in yourself, people around you can sense it and respond to you accordingly. Henry Ford says, whether you believe you can do a thing or not, you're right. If you believe you can't do it, you won't do it. If you believe you can do it, you will do it. It's called the law of self-assurance. And so the other day, the young man saw the self-assurance in me and was attracted to it. Clearly, self-assurance comes from good self-esteem and a firm belief in your ability to handle anything that crosses your path. It is true that when you have self-confidence, people trust you more and depend upon you. The reason why you tune into my channel week after week, and the reason why you have subscribed to the channel is because there's a sense of confidence and assurance in what I'm sharing with you that God has given me. So it attracts you every week to say, what is God giving Carrie this week? And I thank God for that. There was a time when my self-esteem was in the dirt. But when you can be, and see, we've been told, don't let your ego get above you. Don't be so cocky. It's not called cocky. It's called the law of self-assurance. I am assured in who I am in God and the power that he's given me. And it attracts people to me because they say, I want what you have because I'm attracted to what I see. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something about you. It's called the power or operate in the universal laws that govern this universe. I got to go, guys. I got to go. I got to go. Lord, let people see this self-assurance in me. That's it. How many of you have enjoyed this teaching today? I got to get out of here, guys. I got to get out of here. Let me get ready to get a link up where you can sow seeds this morning. Man, I tell you, I enjoyed this morning. This blessed me. I know it may have blessed you, but it blessed me. And I'm going to teach more on this. I'm going to come through the week and talk about this because I think this is something that we need to hear, not just one time, but we need to be reminded day in and day out of what God is doing in our lives. So real quickly, let's sow seeds this morning. I'm going to place a link where you can sow seeds this morning if you want to be a blessing. We got some great things that we're going to do. The link is up right now. I am so grateful for this. If you're interested in the book that I spoke about, let me see if I could quickly give you the name of it. And there's some laws I have yet to get in, but it's called Universal Laws Explained by Christine Sherburne. Powerful book. I have great other books. Hey, Patient, my baby is on this morning. I have so many other books that I read, guys. I am a reader. I am one that loves to study. I'm excited. That's all I can say. And I want to give this to you guys and put it in my spirit to share with you. But I'm going to start teaching on the universal laws. I'm going to do a series on the universal laws and just take one. Because if we had, We have not because we have a lack of understanding. And once you get an understanding of something and you can see where you've been going wrong, it's kind of like doing a math problem. And there's a formula, right? The formula will always give you the correct answer, but it's your responsibility to understand the formula. If you don't understand the formula, you continue to put effort, but get the wrong answer. See, God said it's not that you haven't put effort, it's that you didn't understand the formula that gives you the correct answer to what you're seeking. The universal laws are the formulas that are in place. And if you understand the laws, if you understand the principles, then what's going to happen is you're going to start getting the success that you desire because you understand the formula. When I was doing math and I began to see the formula and I began to see it and understand it, it was, listen, what I used to love about math, and I, again, don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not that crazy about it. I can do it. But when I learn a formula, I learned the formula by simplifying it. And so what God is saying is you've been thinking it's so crazy and I'm not worthy. Baby, yes, you are. You're worthy of everything God has for you. That's why he says there's no respected person. The law is not respected of anyone than any other. The law is the law. The law of death. You have to die one day. And so when I began to understand how to simplify the formula didn't change. I just broke it down to an understanding and then I applied it in its simple steps, because math is about seeing the formula, breaking it down, what goes first, what goes second, what goes third equals the answer. Okay? So if the answer is my dream home, then I need to understand the problem. I'm the problem, and the lack of my knowledge is the problem, and the lack of my understanding of the laws of the universe is the problem. But if I can simplify it step by step, see what I've got right, but see the step I got wrong, and then I can correct the formula to where I can understand now I get it. Guess what happens? I equal the answer, meaning I get the answer. I hope somebody heard that right there. If I could just learn to understand the formula, and I'm going to teach you the formulas, guys, to success. I'm going to teach you the formulas to success with understanding the universal laws that are in place. And when you understand them and you apply them, I promise you, you're going to get the results that you saw in your imagination. If you imagine it but don't understand the formula, you won't get the answer. Well, Carrie, I imagine, but I'm not getting what I imagine. It's because of the formula hasn't been understood. Just having imagination but not understanding how to use it and the power of it still gives you the wrong answer. And I'm sorry, although you did take the test and you gave it an effort, if you got it wrong, you still got it wrong. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I pray this message has blessed you today. I pray that it has opened up your mind and your understanding. I pray that you've got some great things out of it. Let's pray as I close it out. God, I thank you for this message. I think that we must understand the power and the importance of our imagination, that we should stop and say, wait a minute. In 2022, no more excuses. I'm going to learn the formula. I'm going to learn the formulas to success, and I'm going to apply them, and I am going to achieve the very things that I was sent on earth to do. God, I just glorify you for the opportunity to share this knowledge with your people. And as we grow to the next level, God, continue to let us attract like-minded people. Let this channel grow with people that are seeking success. I thank you. I glorify you, God, and I give you all praise. We all pray this as the Abundant Life Nation. Amen. All right, guys. So listen, have yourself a great Sunday. Again, I put the link up one more time if you want to sow seeds. Many of you have sown seeds. I'm going to go back and read the comments because I didn't have time to really stop and read all the comments because God had me flowing. And I want to really focus on this message and making sure you get it in its totality without any interruptions. But again, the book is called Universal Laws Explained, Unlock the Power of the Natural and Supernatural. It is a great read. There's other books I'm going to be recommending as well. I'm just excited. I'm grateful for what God is doing, and I hope you are as well. And I want to hear how this has blessed you. Write me at hello@carrieapope.com. Write me again and say, Carrie, your message was awesome. And it opened up my understanding to some things that I never even really thought about. All right. Hello at carryapope.com. Blessings and abundance, guys, because we live in the law of abundance over here at the Pope residence. Have yourself a great, great day. I'll see you this week. Keep your notifications on for teaching on the universal laws explained. Take care, guys. God bless you. Bye-bye.